Welcome to a new quick and easy Monday makeup tutorial. So today we're gonna make this freshly dead zombie makeup, and I created it using just the Undead palette by Burgundy, a bit of liquid latex, it is the clear latex by Maron, and two different kinds of fake blood. So this is how it looks, and if you want to know how it has been created, please keep watching because I will show you step by step in the coming video. I want my freshly dead zombie just to have a few wounds to make it a bit more interesting to look at. That is what we're going to create with the liquid latex and a foam sponge. I have the latex on the foam sponge, and with that I'm just going to apply a thin layer of latex on my skin. That is the first layer of latex. We do need 2 or 3 layers of the latex to create enough volume to the latex to make it into interesting wounds. But before we can apply a second layer, this needs to dry. So you can just let it air dry. It takes a few minutes, but you can also get a blow dryer and speed up the process of the latex drying a bit. It has almost completely dried, so I'm gonna apply the second layer of latex. That was the latex. It has almost dried, so I'm going to make some holes in there. I've got my stainless steel spatula to do this with. And if you are going to recreate this, please be careful, because you could hurt yourself when you attack the latex too vigorously. So what I basically want to do is just create some holes I can make wounds of. And as you can see, the latex sticks to kind of everything, and that gives it some interesting textures to look at. As you can see, all kinds of wrinkles appear when I pull the latex back. Onto the Undead palette I have by Burgundy, and just a plucked foam sponge with a nice texture on it that helps me create the zombie even easier. So the first color I'm going to use is Dead Flesh. I am not going to cover my entire face with the Dead Flesh color because I am a freshly created zombie. I would still have some blood in my veins and on my skin. So I'm just gonna go over the parts where bones are. So my cheekbones, my brow bone, my nose, my chin, my jawbone, and not just to create an entirely pale face. To make it easier to work with the grease paint, I just thin it down a bit with alcohol. So I just got a bit of alcohol on my sponge before I started applying it on my skin. I feel that when you thin down your grease paint, it is easier to work with them and make a thin layer of makeup with it. I'm still using the same sponge, but I'm switching to the color Death Straw. It is a yellowish color, and I'm going to use it to break up the light color on my skin a bit. So I'm not dabbing as hard on the sponge, and with that you can see the texture that I created in the sponge come back on my skin a bit. Onto the Cadaver Gray, also in the Undead palette, and I'm going to use this one for the deeper parts of the makeup, so this would be a bit darker. Also, of course, this part would cave in a bit. This is the Dark Burgundy, and still the same palette. And by just gently putting the makeup on the skin, you can create kind of a capillary texture to the skin. It's very easy. It looks very good. So I'm going to do the same on the other side of the skin as well. Just turn the sponge around a few times, otherwise you will just stipple on the same texture every time. A bit on a small brush just to put a bit around my nose. That gives more of a sickly look to the makeup. If you put on too much, you can just blend it with your fingers. And a bit of burgundy on the wounds. So I will just color the inside of them with this color. Onto purple, and still the same on that palette. I will first put some of the purple on the inside of my eye. This color is Frankenstein, and of course it is a green color, and I will use it to break all the reds and purples on there a bit, so don't put too much of it on your skin, but it is an interesting color to look at. Finally, this color is called Black and Blue, the last color in the palette by Burgundy. And you do want to be careful with this one because it is very pigmented, as it is the darkest color. So you do want to put a bit on your eyelids and under your eyes, maybe a bit in the capillaries you put on everywhere, but just be careful not to put too much of this darkest color on the skin. And I will also put a bit of it in the wounds. That will get some blood in a bit. 7 of the 8 colors that are in the Undead palette are on my skin, and at this point I think the coloring of my zombie, my freshly dead zombie, is done. So as this is grease paint, we do need to set this with powder, and we do this, or I do this, with the color set powder by Maron. You probably already know this, but grease paint will keep moving on your skin until you fixate it, and that is why we use the powder. So I'm just pressing the powder onto my skin to get the powder in all the grease I just put on there. And I know it looks very white, but I promise it will all be fine in a few minutes. Once you have powdered your makeup, you will see that the colors are a bit less vibrant. It is a bit more sunken into the skin. This is exactly what I want, but if you think that it is all gone once you have powdered it, you can spray it with a light mist of water and the colors will reappear. I will leave it like this because I actually like it. Quickly gonna pop in some contact lenses because I feel that even a freshly dead zombie definitely needs some scary eyes, and that is what I'm gonna do with some black, red and white contacts. On to the blood. I like my sinewy blood gel by Vermilion Effects, so I'm gonna use it. I'm just gonna smear a light layer of it on those little wounds I put on my skin. And finally a bit of the blood by Mold Life. This is the aged blood. I really love the color of the aged blood, and I definitely love this blood, so that is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to put a bit on the wounds. There is already blood on there, but well, who doesn't like a bit of blood during Halloween? A bit over here as well. Let's make a bit of blood run from my nose. And finally I have a stipple sponge and will just stipple a bit of blood on my face. So I will keep it to where the wounds are, just to make it, that was some blood, just to make it a bit more interesting to watch. There you go. You could actually put a bit more on if you want to. Maybe I have eaten as well. So the Blood by Mold Life is safe to put in and around your mouth. It actually tastes kind of good as well. Yeah, and that is it. That completes my quick and easy makeup tutorial for today, which is this freshly dead zombie. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel in the link below. Stay tuned on all our videos. I will definitely be doing more zombie makeups this month, so if you don't want to miss any of them, stay tuned. For now, I wish you a wonderful day, and of course, I hope to see you back here next time. Bye bye!